Welcome to the Prince William County Department of Facilities and Fleet Management, also referred to as FFM. I am Tim Mason. The title of this briefing is Interviewing Tips and Tricks. The information in today's briefing is an abbreviated version of what I provide to Prince William County school students on a regular basis. The information may appear simple, but is important in what I have observed, especially working with high school and college students and recent graduates, as the most commonly neglected areas of understanding. My role with FFM is the Professional Development, Intern, and Apprenticeship Coordinator. This role is responsible for building professional development and training programs and creating and managing internship and apprenticeship initiatives. FFM is comprised of 6 divisions and over 50 different careers. You can learn more details about FFM in another briefing. We think it, we buy it, we build it, we maintain it. There are 3 important questions every job seeker should understand when seeking a new job. They are, what are the key components an employer looks for in a candidate? How do I build my resume if I have limited or no work experience? How do I present myself to a potential employer? The last question is more specific to Prince William County and FFM. How do I apply for a job in the Prince William County Department of Facilities and Fleet Management? This is where I will provide some basic but very important tips when applying for a career with Prince William County and FFM. Key question number 1. What are the key components an employer looks for in a candidate? This is the foundational question to keep in mind when applying for a job, especially when building your resume and applying for a specific job. The first part of understanding the answer to the question is understanding why the employer creates a position. The employer creates a position because they have a problem to solve. This is true for all employers. It doesn't matter the position. They have a problem they need to resolve. The basis of the problem may differ from employer to employer and position to position, but the basis is the same. They have a problem to solve, and you need to understand that. Understanding this, your entire objective when competing for a job is to demonstrate to the employer that you possess the potential to solve their problem without creating more problems. That's very important. This gets into hard skills. That's usually the problem trying to resolve, and the soft skills, those areas that deal more with who you are, like being on time, things like that. That's really getting in the areas of not creating more problems. And you really must understand, do it better than your competitors. In other words, you need to present that you have the potential to solve that employer's problem without creating more problems better than your competitor. It's a sales. It's a business process. It's a sales process and it's a business process when looking for a job. The employer's problem is defined in the job description. You need to read and understand the job description, especially the requirements and those things that they would like to have. Your answer to this problem begins with your resume. This leads to the second question. How do I build my resume if I have limited or no work experience? This question skips over the mechanics of building a resume types, etc., which are all very important but are too deep for the time we have for today's discussion. There is a plethora of researchable information on the web that you can use to research the mechanics of building a resume. I suggest that you take time to do that. But as students, you're probably limited with the work history and other information to build a resume. So what can you use? You use relatable school classes, especially career technical education courses and projects. Write them in the resume as if they are jobs and accomplishments. Clubs, hobbies, and volunteer work all work as well. As an example, I am the advisor to the National Association of Home Builders NHB student chapter at Colgan High School in Prince William County. Commonly known as NHB. NHB is is a real building association that is national. In this club, our members prepare a construction management proposal based on real-life scenario provided by a builder sponsor, and students compete nationally in Las Vegas each year at the International Builder Show. This is great information for resumes, especially for students pursuing an engineering, architecture, or construction management career. It is also good for demonstrating work ethic, teamwork, and commitment. I'm sure wherever you're at, there are clubs that are very relatable that you can use. Key question number 3, how do I present myself to a potential employer? This is very important. Remember, it's all about you. The eyes are on you. You must be on your best behavior every time, always. This includes when an employer visits your classroom, sets up a table in your cafeteria, or you visit an employer's table at a career fair. You are always being observed in those settings. Employers remember when you stand out, good or bad. Make sure you're doing that appropriately. You communicate with your employer, not your parents. Your parents can and are encouraged to coach you, but you are the one who makes contact with the potential employer. In all my years of experience, I have never had a positive experience when it was the parent who contacted me first. The question is, why are you not making the contact? Are you not motivated? What's the problem here? Make sure you are the one that's making contact. Be responsive. Responsive is not waiting 30 days. Your responses is within 72 hours at the latest. 72 hours is really stretching it. Within 24 hours is encouraged, if not sooner. If you require time to prepare a response, to answer all the questions they have, let them know that you received their inquiry and provide a realistic date and time when you will provide the information. Again, this should not be weeks out. You need to provide this information as quickly as possible. Do not leave them hanging. Also provide them everything that they ask for. If they ask for A, B, and C, provide A, B, and C. Do not just provide A and C unless it requires more time to get B. You can get them A and C now while you're working on the B response. But make sure you include everything that they're asking for. Don't leave anything open. The other, and very important, is dress for success. Dressing for success does not always mean wearing a suit, but it does mean not showing up with Daisy Duke cutoffs, sweats, and usually blue jeans are not something that you show up with either. These are often personal experiences that I've had individuals showing up for an interview, not even close to being dressed appropriately. Do your research. Ask if you must. This is too easy of an area to research using Google and usually the company to determine the expectations. Do research. If in doubt, dress up. If you're dressed up, you can dress down if you need to. But if you dress down and you should have dressed up, it's kind of hard to do that once you get there. Make sure you're doing your research and your due diligence. These things are too easy, for you to research and understand. And so that's going to take into account, what the employer thinks of you when you're coming into their organization to try to demonstrate your potential to solve their problems without creating more problems. The last key question here, how do I apply for a job in the Prince William County Department of Facilities and Fleet Management? With all jobs, permanent full-time positions in Prince William County, most of them, if not all, are presented through the county's career portal, found at the county's page. And here you can see the main in the slide, governmentjobs.com/careers/PWC.gov. You can find those jobs there. You can also go into the FFM intern apprenticeship, www.pwcva.gov/facilities. You can find information there. So Those jobs are announced out there. And many times in our department, and I'm talking about our department only, internships and apprenticeships with FFM may be announced through other channels depending on the intended audience and purpose of that apprenticeship and internship. As an example, with Prince William County Schools and or local colleges, Nova, GMU. The other thing is when you're applying, do not think that you should only read one announcement that's out there that is the same as another announcement with the same title. In other words, you might see business services analyst out there several times. That's a classification. We also have working titles, but that same classification may be used in our department, might be used in Public Works, another department. So make sure you're looking at all those and reading the announcements carefully so you can respond to each one carefully. Also, make sure you're looking at the due dates. Many announcements are only open for a week or two. If it's only open for, you find it's got 2 more days that it's open, you have 2 days to respond. That's why you should always have your resume being developed, a good general resume within that career field that you want to go. For example, if you want to have a job in human resources or you want to have one in electrical, you have a resume that focuses on that so that you can easily tailor that to the job announcement. Now, speaking about job announcements, your resume, the biggest thing to remember when applying for a job, especially through the career portal with Prince William County, I'm talking about Prince William County here, is the application. You must answer all the questions and demonstrate your experience as it applies to the questions and requirements in the applications. Do not rely on the information being in your resume. Selection for moving forward is all about the information provided in your application, not your resume. I cannot stress that enough. If you barely fill out that application and you don't really answer those questions fully, thinking that, hey, it's in my resume, you're probably not going to get selected to move forward. You need to make sure you articulate that experience as it relates to those requirements in that job announcement. Make sure you are responsive if and when contacted. Again, I cannot stress that enough. Make sure that you're responsive. This concludes this briefing. Questions can be answered by emailing ffm-pdiap@pwcgov.org. These would be questions relating to our department only. If you're looking for questions for Prince William County in general, you can go to the Prince William County government's website. Thank you and have a great day.